In this video, we're going to actually look at some Marvel Rivals online competitive gameplay and Star-Lord gameplay to see what we can learn from one of the top 10 best console players in Marvel Rivals on PlayStation. So something that he's really good at are these positions on the roof here, right? Where he's safe as much as possible while attacking. So I actually really like this. A lot of times I just kind of sit on the ground. So it's interesting here to see what he does. But the rest of his team, I'm not sure why they were pushed back so far. But that's what these tanks decided to do and the team decided to do in terms of giving space. I like this flank here, and I would have probably spent a little bit more time attacking there until I saw someone come for me. But he just moves. I think the second he sees his tank dies, right? His Hulk dies. I think that's why he just left. Um, he decided to be safe, and this is actually one of the coolest, best positions I've seen. Is this rooftop up here? See how he's kind of hiding, and I didn't know you could actually go back there. So that's really useful to know on this map as a Star-Lord player. That I just started playing Star-Lord about 2 days ago, and I started doing a lot better with Star-Lord than I was on Psylocke. I had a lot of time on Psylocke. I was one-tricking Psylocke, but then as soon as I switched to Star-Lord, I started doing a little bit better. I like how he's kind of more a little bit like Tracer in Overwatch, right? But a very, very fun mobile version, right? That you can go in the air or on the ground and you can dodge things. Like I dodged Iron Man's ultimate ability. He shot it right at me and I just double jumped through it. It's pretty cool. So here, again, unfortunately, we don't really know what the rest of his team is doing. There he ends up dying to or from a Hawkeye or a Hela, I believe. And this is the issue here is that what I'll say is we're going to look at to see what we can learn, right? How we can get better at this game together. But it looks like whoever has the better Hela usually wins. I'm not going to lie. And that Hela on the other team is really, really good. They're going to end up getting a lot of damage in a lot of limbs in the game. You'll see at the end. But I like how he duels the Hulk on the other team and gets alt charge. But here he actually gets a kill, right? But Doctor Strange takes him out. So I think that's probably one of the first mistakes he made is he didn't track the Doctor Strange because it shut him down, right? It shut down his ult. So it looks like they may be getting tank diffed as well as Hela diffed, right? So yeah, Doctor Strange is just so unbelievably powerful if you know how to use him at the right time. So it even looks like at this level, right? People know who this Michael Bowling is, right? So probably on the other team, they fought him before. They know he's in the top 10. You can look in the leaderboards and see that, right? This is of January 10th, 2025, right? So it's not that he's playing bad with Star-Lord necessarily, but I would also say at this level, as being a top 500 Overwatch Zenyatta one trick myself for a few seasons, I was in top 500 in Masters many seasons and Grand Masters many seasons. I can tell you that if you do not play perfectly, one mistake can cost you the game. So we've already seen him make one or two mistakes, maybe even three mistakes. And they're not big mistakes. Most of them are not big mistakes except for that tracking the the Doctor Strange ult. But here you can see their team finally gets a team fight, right? And they win a team fight. This is just a little bit before this when I was talking. They actually won before that and stopped the Spider Slayer. Here he has his ult. I mean, I don't know. If this was the GS 187 guy that's usually the best player, he would have just ulted the second he gets his ult to get out the Mantis or the Luna Snow ult, right? Like, he would just bait it. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, he gets hit with the Doctor Strange ult. So, like I said, we can learn here. But the interesting thing is, it ended up working out in his favor still. So the other thing is, he might be tracking those support ults to try to get value and to get kills. So it might be a slightly different mentality than the other player, that the Black Panther and Psylocke player that usually he just plays differently. So But that guy just plays differently than anyone I've ever seen. Like he was played Black Panther and he wouldn't even fight until they turned a certain corner. So he waited an entire minute doing nothing, and then attacking the team by himself. And getting lots of value. So it was really interesting. So here there's a team fight, but he gets killed there by Doctor Strange. So it really looks like Doctor Strange is targeting him. He definitely is. He used 2 alts just for the Star-Lord. And what I would say to that then is the Star-Lord, this player playing Star-Lord probably needs to play a little further back and probably needs to take certain angles. Like, I think he should have committed more on those angles when he had the back, the flanking angle. I would have done that personally, but I don't know if that would have been the better choice or not. It's hard to know. I mean, this guy did make it here, so he's hitting the Hawkeye a little bit. I like this angle here. I do like the angles that he takes and the positions that he takes. I guess the reason why maybe he doesn't commit as much is because Hawkeye and Hela on the other team can easily just one-shot you. So, like that, like if you're out in the open, look, that Hela just killed him and everybody. So, I feel like really probably, especially when the game first came out, who knows about later, but Hawkeye and Hela are really the way to go with DPS, right? You kind of just want those DPS on your team because they do the most and they do the best, like I tried Hela recently. It was insane and unbelievable. So he's actually contesting here with Hulk, which is pretty good. But it is what it is, like this is going to be extremely unfortunate. So here you see him go to Hawkeye and then instantly die. And there he has 2 shield tanks that are not shielding the angle for him. So is that him taking a position that he shouldn't be taking? Should he just be behind his tanks and be patient and let the tanks shield the damage? Or, right? Because he keeps getting picked off now. This is like 3 times in a row and twice this round. So, I don't know. It really could be a tank diff. Because we're looking at a couple situations here, right? At the beginning of the fight where it looks like tank positioning and the Doctor Strange outplaying and not really seeing anything from these tanks on his team, So that's pretty good here. He's pretty good with these angles. There you go. See, look, you immediately switch to Hela and things just start dying, right? So, I don't know. It's tough, man. So this is pretty good here. But what I would say is that he plays in a way where it doesn't really rely on his team too much. But I would say the best games that I've had are when everyone works together, because you get a multiplier effect when you actually can use teammates properly, right? So this Hela is just the alpha Hela, she just went up there and just shot him and killed him, and she just keeps going and she's uncontested. So there's definitely an issue here where this Hela on the other team, Heart, I believe their name is going crazy, and their Hawkeye's putting in work too, but their Doctor Strange and their Hulk is doing pretty good too. Maybe not, I don't know, the Hulk is going and pressuring the backline. That's fine, but I think it's their Doctor Strange really that's making a big difference. And I don't know, they're gonna get run over here, right? And steamrolled, and there's not much here that this DPS player can do, it looks like. Except for maybe be a little bit more patient, was that earlier position on that roof a good position? Did they just not look out for the dive, right? Because that could be the case. Here they're playing more with the team, and I feel like this is better. There we go. She has a Hela ult here, and I don't know. I probably would have popped that. I know there's the support ult going, but just, now they're getting pushed back, right? So I'm not sure what the other DPS is doing, but I don't see them doing too much either. So it's possible that it's like he's a really good DPS, but the other DPS is not doing much at all. It's possible. And if that's the case, then it's like, you're 5v6ing. Almost got that Hawkeye. The Hawkeye, Hela ends up getting him again. If you look at the kill cam there, it's always Hela. So I think what's happening here is that this Hela, formerly a Star-Lord, was not really paying attention to the other Hela that much. And the other Hela is just on fire, man. Going crazy. This is unfortunate. This reminds me of when I was in some gold lobbies earlier on. And it's like, you have to always go back to heal yourself in the spawn. But I feel like he's playing a little bit defeated. But at least now he's looking for certain people. He has this ult. And then Hela ulted. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hela versus Hela. And the support ult is out, which is a big problem, right? If you can't get that Hawkeye, no. Wasn't able to get anything there. Yeah, it looks like there's an ult economy difference too. Like they're getting their ults faster, it would appear to me. And yeah, they're not doing so well here. I don't see that Psylocke doing much either. Yeah, I mean, the Hela got 2 kills there. Yeah, I don't think the Psylocke was doing much, and I think Hawkeye is just a better than Psylocke at this highest level for most cases, right? Not all players, because the number 1 player plays Psylocke as well as Black Panther. So let's look at these stats here and see what happens. Obviously, the Hela on the other team ends up winning it for them, right? And here you can see Hela gets everything, right? She gets all the damage, Hela gets all the damage, all the limbs. Like, look, 41 limbs, just straight farming. Didn't die that much. Got more damage. So Michael's team here, right? They were able to get damage, but they weren't able to get the limbs in the final blows, and that's the big difference. Now, their Doctor Strange actually blocked a lot of damage at 45,000, right? So that's pretty good. But that's not always the most important thing, right? It's like, where was he blocking the damage, right? Because he wasn't allowing or enabling Michael to get those angles that he was looking for. So, and he ended up just dying.